The Trump campaign is taking Joe behind the woodshed. You remember at some point last year, Joe Biden said, I'd like to take, maybe it wasn't last year, maybe it was a few years ago, where Joe Biden said, I'd like to take him out back. And basically he just said he'd like to beat Trump up. Joe Biden, I think when he was the vice president still, he's like, back in my day, we'd take people like that take him out back, behind the woodshed. Or whatever he said. He's freaking stupid. I'll take him out behind the gym. Do an old corn pop to him. So, Joe Biden has been accused. Not of rape or grabbing people like bowling balls or doing the other things that he does. Nope. And it's not of conspiracy or conspiring with foreign powers. That's an ongoing accusation for him and his family. Nope, this is that he's just been accused of using listening devices. Not like Watergate, though. Listen, the left is never going to get over the scandals that they're involved with. But one of the things that Joe Biden is being accused of now that is unrelated to any of the other things that you would have normally heard from him is actually pretty simple. It's just that he has listening devices in his ears. He's got little receivers, little send receivers in his ears that allow him to be fed lines. So someone is speaking to him, and this point has been made. They say Joe Biden takes his time. When Kamala was yelling at him, he just looked down, was making notes, and was taking his time. No, stupid. He wasn't listening to her to have a thoughtful response. He's listening to the person telling him the first of his sentence. So he's writing down some words to say because he's hearing them told to him. And then he repeats them. You've already seen the videos of Joe Biden looking at teleprompters. And you can see as he holds up photos, the reflection of teleprompters in front of him. It's pretty obvious when he misreads something and then goes back to it. I think he had said, he screws up the words and then has to double back, and so it's clear that he's reading. Well, Trump's campaign said, hey, we want a third-party investigator to look into Biden's ears, just right in there. Just want to look in the ears and be sure that he doesn't have an earpiece. Why do you think they would ask that? This is why. Because this is a regular Joe Biden ear. Let me see if I can move this over. Nope. This is a regular Joe Biden ear. You see that it has a recession, like most ears. It goes in. It has an ear canal. It goes to an it goes to an eardrum, and you have a few little bones in there. And you know how your inner ear works. If you don't, this is the wrong channel to learn it. But here's what's interesting. That's a regular Joe Biden ear, and then here is what it looks like when it's filled with an earpiece. Also, it looks like a corpse. But here's Joe Biden's ear regularly. Here's Joe Biden at the CNN town hall, where here's the shot and here it is blown up. He's got an earpiece. It's very nice. It's a very nice little flesh tone earpiece jammed right in. So here it is where he has no earpiece. You can see he's got clearly an ear canal. You can see the impressions and indentations in his ear. Boom! Trump is like, hey, can you look in his ears? Because if we can't see his ear canal, and instead we can only see a flesh-colored earpiece, that's trouble. Hey, let's make sure that we don't have any wireless devices on the candidates during the debates. So Biden said, well, we need 30-minute breaks. It's going to be a 90-minute debate. We need to take a little break every half hour because Joe needs to update his transfusion or take another snort or take another hit or get another injection or what have you. They're going to try to maintain his drug use throughout the night to keep him alert, to keep him focused, to keep him on top of his game without being, noticeably drugged. And so they may be using extended release formulas. They may be using shots. They may be using like some synthetic time release things. And he's worried that, hey, I can't load up on all these drugs and then go out on stage for 90 minutes without a break. I need to have a break set before. So they ask, can we have preset breaks? And the Trump campaign says yes on the one hinge that we also then get to have a third party inspect your ears. They said that that's absurd. It's absurd that we would have an earpiece. Ooh, it's absurd. It's absurd. Okay, so Donald Trump's campaign calls for this. They say in Cleveland, he is asking for the additional ground rule ahead of Tuesday night's first presidential debate. That's tonight at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. This says Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and Donald Trump, but Biden's campaign is rejecting the request to have his ears inspected. Wait, what? So wait, Trump says, I'm accusing you of using listening devices in your ears. I think you're using implanted devices in your ears. Sounds insane. So all Joe Biden has to do is be like, sure, I'll make a big deal about how I'm not using anything to cheat, and then I'll beat Trump, and he'll look like an idiot. Nope, not what happened. Joe Biden instead said, "That's absurd. I'm not letting you check my ears." Come on, give me a break. If he was innocent, don't you think he'd be like, "Sure, look in my ears." That's a weird request, but sure, look in them. Instead, he's like, "Don't look in my ears. Don't ever look in my ears." Fox News has learned that the president's re-election campaign wants the Biden campaign to allow a third party to inspect the ears of both debaters, each one of them, for electronic devices or transmitters. The president has consented to this kind of inspection, but the source says that the campaign for Biden has declined it. So no ear checks if you're Joe Biden, because you can't be caught cheating. There won't be a handshake, we know that. And they said in the hours ahead of the debate, Biden's campaign has agreed to an inspection first, but they ended up going back on it. That's really scary. Look at this. The Trump campaign, in the hours ahead, claimed that they had agreed to it. But then they come back and say, "Whoa, hang on. Biden just said he won't allow us to check his ears." They said several days ago that a pre-debate inspection for electronic earpieces, but today they abruptly reversed themselves and declined. It seems like maybe they finally got word that they have a device that'll work. Hey, if we have a device that works, we don't have to jump around this anymore. Hey, we don't have to agree to this. First, they weren't going to use one. They're like, "Sure, you can look at us." And then they're like, "Wait, we got one that works." So
if you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What? Okay. So, good Lord. Can you just format yourself one time and then be done with it, Fox News website? Thank you. Joe Biden's handlers said several days ago that they had agreed to a pre-debate inspection. Now they've gone back on it. That's according to the Trump campaign spokesperson, Tim Murtaugh. It says, on top of the refusal to take the drug test, which seems pretty obvious that the Biden team is looking for any safety net they can find in the hours leading up to the debate. So it's 47 years as a failed Washington politician. How much does this help? How much does Joe Biden want? How much help does he want? How much help does he need? He's got 47 years in there. He's had, I think it was 30-something debates, 38 debates throughout his career. Not one of them did he have a half-hour break, or a break every half hour. That's just stupid. So Biden was being propped up all last week. Oh, he's been through the debates tons of times. 38 live debates against his opponents. He has been through 11 of those debates in the last cycle. So he doesn't need, any help. He doesn't need any training. In fact, he's going to smoke Trump. If people are all expecting him to be bad, he's going to be great. Okay. Then why are you using earpieces? Why aren't you allowing him to be drug tested? Why are you safeguarding him? That's why this is asking, how much help does Joe Biden actually want? How much help does he need? Not good. This says, our guy doesn't need breaks. He gives 90-minute speeches all the time. That's true. Trump gives speeches like this all the time. Never needs a break. Doesn't need a break, is able to speak using the teleprompter, not using the teleprompter, going back to the teleprompter, going off of it, wandering the stage, clapping, dancing. I mean, he does the 90-minute thing pretty easy. That's a pretty quick 90 minutes that goes by for Donald Trump. It says the Joe Biden campaign can't make it 20 minutes. So I don't know how they're going to get the first 30 minutes done tonight and then have their break. I don't think he's going to last that long. Bettingfield, this is someone, who knows. I'll just back up. The debate, the first of three, kicks off tonight, is being hosted by Case Western Reserve University at the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, I'm glad that they're at the Cleveland Clinic, just in case Joe Biden has any issues. Speaking with reporters, added that if we're going to play the game, the Trump team asked Chris Wallace never to mention the number of COVID deaths once during the debate. You can consider copy editor. You can consider that confirmed from the Biden campaign. I was wrong. See how easy that was to try to throw out a distraction. It's pathetic. It's weak. Once again, the Trump campaign is lying. They're going to process because they don't want the debate Joe Biden on the substance. You go to the process when you can't go to substance. Trump only has substance, and the only thing the left has is fucking up the process to avoid the substance. So don't try to flip it back and say, oh, Joe Biden is criticizing the process. He's criticizing you guys for mucking it up. Murtaugh fires back, says this is a lie, it never happened. Never were we ever asking Chris Wallace not to mention the names or the numbers of deaths for COVID. It would behoove Chris Wallace not to report an inflated and false number of deaths. That's probably true. But I also don't believe that he ever made that request. I don't believe that Trump would make the request to do that. It says, Biden is trying to distract from the facts that he won't submit to an inspection for earpieces, he won't take a drug test, and needs multiple breaks during a 90-minute debate. Are you kidding? Are you voting for Joe Biden? And if you are you kidding? He can't make it a half hour talking in public without someone feeding him lines, someone drugging him, and having a break in a half hour. Guys, what does it look like when you put a corpse up there, but instead of bouncing him around like Weekend at Bernie's, you just jam him with drugs and put the words in his ear and then give him enough adrenaline to run his mouth? That's what you're going to see tonight. That's what you're going to see with Biden. If he shows up at the debate tonight, that's what you're going to see. Let me know what you think you're going to see in the comments. Let me know what you think of that. Do you agree? Do you think that Biden needs to have an earpiece check, or are you saying no? Let him have the earpieces and let him screw it up. That's how he's been going, and it seems to be just working just fine. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure the little notifications, ding, ding. Make sure that thing is hit. And then do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.